And don't be surprised, Eric, if nobody pays attention to what we're doing. A lot of times they just go on YouTube later.
That's fair.
Bunch of voyeurs. That's what they are.
Yeah. Because I don't pay attention to anything people do on Facebook either. So I understand.
There we go. Well, Eric Cole is our guest today on Comic Spot. I lost track of how many of these I've done. It's more than 1,000, like maybe 1,011. Doesn't really matter. What, Eric?
So that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, none of them are any good, but hey, I got numbers.
That's all that matters, really.
It's really kind of like the Portland Trailblazers record. They got a lot of games, but only a little bit of success way back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Today, our guest is here because he's on a show in Pasco, Washington, coming up on the 9th. He's co-headlining and with Mr. Vera, or is it Vera? But Vera. I can't remember the dude's name because what?
Emmanuel Christopher Michael Vera the Fourth.
Yeah, I can't, like, that doesn't, I'm too old. They give me 3 digits to go to the bathroom at Starbucks and I'm lost. Because I know they're doing that just to get rid of old people.
Probably.
Yeah. So you're going to be on this show and tell everybody where it's at, what time, and how to get there, and all that good stuff. Then we're going to go into your life, and then we're going to come back and plug the heck out of you.
It is at the Red Lion, Pasco. I will be honest, I'm not sure how to get there, as I've never been. But if you're in Pasco, I imagine you would know how to get there. And it is, I believe, at 8 o'clock. I'm double checking. 7. Okay, so I got everything wrong. Let's see.
It was 7 when I was there, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 7 p.m.
So yes. It's a really cool club inside of a really cool hotel, and the hotel,
Grizzly Bar.
Yeah, the
Grizzly Bar Comedy Club.
It's
yes,
really
I can
nice.
Pretend I'm professional.
The club promotes all week long. I mean, they're selling tickets and promoting the show. And They treat you like a celeb when you walk in. You're the comedian? Oh my gosh. And you get a big room and it's clean and nice and people leave you alone. And if you want to mingle with the locals, you can. And like, it's just a great experience.
It sounds like it's going to be a good time.
And it's right by the airport. You could literally walk from the airport to the hotel, but the shuttle picks you up for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very, very close. It's not even a 3-minute drive to the airport. So I want to go to the intro that you gave me. Eric Cole, I like this intro because usually I make fun of people when they talk about themselves in the third. He's already doing it for me, so it saves me energy. Here's his intro. Eric Cole, that's him, hates writing about himself. After 11 years, you'd think he'd be used to it. But here we are. He has worked with Tom Green, Chris Kattan, and Jay Moore. And Tom Green even told him, "You're very funny." See, I like this because it's short and to the point and pretty humble. It's kind of like a little bit of brag with a lot of humble.
Wow.
You have a lot of people you've worked with who are super famous, and young people. If you don't know these names, you need to know these names. And it's typing everything I'm saying right now. But Jay Moore, Tom Green, and Chris Kattan are super legends.
Yeah, and they were all a lot of fun.
What?
They were all a lot of fun to work with.
That is so awesome. How in the world did you wind up working with the 3 of them at different times, I suppose?
Well, there was a comedy club here in Boise called Liquid Laughs, and I was just in the right place at the right time. For Tom Green, I asked straight up. I was like, "Can I open for Tom Green? And they were like, yeah, sure. And that's how most of it went. It was me asking and them saying yes.
That's super, super. So let's talk a little bit about your life.
Sure.
So I like to start at the beginning, otherwise I get lost. So where were you born and raised? I know it's basic.
Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, I love Brooklyn. What part?
Bensonhurst.
I lived
Well,
in
Bensonhurst,
Bensonhurst.
Gravesend, Bay Ridge, a little bit of everywhere.
I lived on 86, 13, 80, 86, 86th Ave and 16th Street or something like that. Bensonhurst.
Nice.
And I walked to Bay Ridge every day because I sold advertising for the Bay Ridge papers, the Brooklyn
Oh,
papers.
okay.
Yeah, I
How
love
long
it.
ago?
Let's see, I lived there in 1998.
Oh,
And
okay.
at night I would go and bark for Stand Up New York.
Oh, very nice.
That was before I had the guts to get on stage because it does take guts, right?
It does indeed.
So let's hear about your early life. What was your child, like how many brothers and sisters? What kind of family?
I have one sister. I was raised by a single mom, my sister and I.
Yeah.
She's amazing, and she raised two kids in Brooklyn in the 80s and 90s. I think she needs some type of a medal for that. Um, yeah, we moved in. We lived with my grandparents for a little while. Um, excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, just I don't know, nothing really eventful happened. I'm boring. I'm sorry. I don't
Your sister, is she older or younger?
younger, but she wishes she was older.
What's she out doing now that you're doing comedy?
I don't know. I think right now I think she's at work.
What
Uh,
type of work does she do?
she works at Walgreens. She's a manager.
Nice.
Yeah,
Is she
crushing it.
still in Brooklyn?
No, no. She relocated here a few years ago, as did my mother.
Oh, and what kind of work does your mom do?
I can't talk about it. Otherwise, we'll have to move again. No, she works at a hospital.
Nice.
It's like
Very nice.
administrative stuff, I think. I'm not really sure what she does.
Funny. You're kind of mysterious on purpose, aren't you?
No, I just don't. I honestly don't really know what she does. I think it's some kind of, she manages something. I'm not 100% sure what it is.
What are some of your experiences growing up that formed you into the wonderful person you are today? Like, what are some weird things, scary, stupid, that you've been through before you got on stage?
Well, I never really did too many stupid things. Like I was always too concerned that I was going to get in trouble. Uh, so I tried to not do too many stupid things. I don't know. I think probably the dad
Maybe
not
weird,
being.
weird or hard or scary or
Well, I think dad not being around probably had something to do with my need for attention, which is why I get on stage. Like I've always said that nobody does what we do if they're well adjusted. So I think that probably had a big factor in, and plus, you had to be growing up in Brooklyn. You had to be quick. You had to be fast on your feet because people are gonna roast you. You got to be able to roast them, and if you can't, then you get it even worse. So, um, just basically a product of my surroundings.
absolutely. So in grade school, you had one sister and a single mom. And do you have
Yes.
grandparents that were close around you growing up?
Yeah, yeah. We dad left. We moved in with my grandparents.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Um, Yeah, so they were very close.
And that was your mom's parents.
Yes,
Very cool. That makes you have an old soul.
I
Makes you
I
a nice person.
suppose. What's
Yeah.
that?
It makes people have a nice old soul to them. Younger people who have been around, you know, grandparents and other relatives that are older, they tend to have more compassion towards me. It's all about me. They have So you go to grade school and you go into high school. Paint us a picture what you were like to be around in school, grade school and high school.
Um, well, I will say the majority of parent-teacher conferences would always, at some point, they would always say something to the effect of, my teachers would say, um, you know, if he would only spend as much time on his schoolwork as he does trying to entertain his friends, he'd be at the top of his class. So I was probably an annoying kid now that I'm look back on it. I was probably one of those kids that you were like, oh, this one again. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was just always trying to, make people laugh or be silly, which as an adult with a child, I can see how being on the other end of that, it would be probably a little annoying.
So like your teachers had that to say about you, and then like in the schoolwork, what were some of your favorite activities and subjects in school
I
besides
was
other
always a fan of English. I didn't necessarily like when they would make me read stuff, but I liked the writing classes, and I like the English language itself. I think there's a lot of room for fun with words. History was always one that I enjoyed because I like learning about what came before. I've never been good at math or science. So yeah, probably I'd say English and history were probably my two favorite
That's a
subjects.
lot like me. Getting back to me,
Yeah.
I love English and history. I love them. So what did you do like after high school till now? Tell us what your trajectory has been.
All right. After high school, I went to some college,
Me too.
and I got involved in the radio station at Kingsborough Community College. Um, and then I realized I was spending more time at the radio station than I was in classes, so I stopped going because I was paying out of my own pocket to go to school. I mean, I got financial aid and stuff, but anything they didn't cover, I had to. I was in a band for a little while in my
What kind
youth.
of
That was
band?
we were we were like a cross between like if Metallica met Linkin Park.
Wow.
Those were the two heavy influences at the time between all of us, and then
What did you
that
do it? What did you do specifically in the band?
I rapped.
Wow.
Yep. I was a poor man's Mike Shinoda in our band. Mike Shinoda's the guy from Linkin Park. I see the look on your face. Like, who's that? That's Yeah. I was a poor man's Mike Shinoda in our band. And then in 2008, I moved out. I moved to Idaho in 2000,
Where in Idaho?
Boise, and now Meridian. And I started doing stand up in 2012. In 2011, I started doing improv, which gave me the confidence to do stand up. Because I thought if I can be funny without any preparation, I could probably be funny if I sit down and try.
That's
So
funny. I've
yeah,
never heard that explanation. It cracks me up.
yeah.
But that's true. If you can do it without preparation, just think how much funnier it could be with preparation.
Yeah, and so far so good. Almost 11 years later, I'm still at it, and I think I've been. I like to say that I've been moderately successful on a local level. Nobody knows who I am, but hopefully that'll change soon.
But look at who you've been on stage with. My gosh.
Yeah, yeah, and they were all great. Everybody I've worked with. Chris Fairbanks is hilarious. I love him. Uh, Sophie Hughes is one of the unsung local legends in Boise. She's great. There's a great scene here. There's a lot of talented kids and not so kids. But yeah, it's been a
So
fun.
how far away is Boise from Spokane? Not that far.
Not too far, I don't think. A few hours drive. I think. Let me check. We pull up the
Today's
old.
Saturday, and you're going to be there Thursday for the show.
Yes.
And what's the weather and the roads like with all this stuff going on?
Right now it's actually kind of nice. The sun, like the song says, the sun came out and dried up all the rain. Um, so yeah, right now it's not too bad. Hopefully by the and it's only I think it's only like a 4-ish hour drive from here to Pasco, so um, it won't be too bad.
That's not bad.
No.
Okay, so you started comedy. What in the world? I know you had to be quick on your feet in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and
Yes.
you were in a band, so you had no fear of being in front of people. But what was the exact catalyst that made you do stand up?
Well, I've always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, and I was always a fan of shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway and things like that. And I knew that that was a good way to get in to Saturday. Like a lot of people come from like the Second City or Groundlings. Um, so I ran into. I was serving I was working at a restaurant, and there was an improv show across the street in Idaho. Insert Foot Theater. And one of the guys came in to ate in my section, and I started talking to him about it. A man by the name of Jeff Peterson. He
Jeffrey
told me what they
Peterson?
do. Huh?
Jeffrey, the 420 comic, or somebody else?
No, that's somebody else.
Okay.
Not the same. Not the same guy. But yeah, he told me to come hang out during rehearsals, and I did. And then next thing I knew, I was part of the cast, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
And so I like when people have taken and done improv and comedy, and they explain to novices or stubborn comedians that refuse to do improv because they're so purist. Tell us from your point of view the benefit of having done improv and how it has helped your abilities.
That is a great question. I think it's helpful because you never know what an audience is going to be like on any given night. Sure, if they've bought tickets and they're there for the show, they're ready to laugh. But like, are they? I mean, sometimes people go to comedy shows and they're just sitting there stone faced. So I think having the improv experience or background helps me. I can't speak for everybody, but it helps me in that it's easier to deal with hecklers and roll with the punches a little bit on stage. So if I'm telling a joke that's not working, or if I'm, feeling that the energy I'm getting from the crowd is not great, I can, you know, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I can shift gears in the moment and not be beholden to a script so to speak, of like, all right, this is my material. This is when I tell this joke. This is where the punchline is. This is where the laugh goes. I can kind of be a little more fluid with it and have a little more fun. So I think it's a good skill to have, to be able to just do that. And because I'm confident in my ability to make a person laugh, it may not be with my pre-written material, but I'll get you either way.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Tell us one or two funny things that have happened when you have needed to pull out the big guns and use some improv.
Okay. Well, there was one show I can remember. It was a late show on a Saturday, which is typically not great because by then people have already been out and they're drinking, and so they weren't very receptive to the material, and so I just decided to just start asking questions, essentially a version of taking suggestions from the audience. And I hit every table, and I was able to link this table to that table, and oh well, so you probably know her, and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And I did that for like 20 minutes, just talking to the audience and getting them involved. Which, if I didn't have I might not have been comfortable to do that without the improv experience. And so just things like that. That's happened a couple of times where I've had to just do away with my pre-planned stuff and just like, all right, what do you guys want to talk about? What's going to get you in this room involved? Because 3 minutes on stage with nobody's laughing feels like an hour and a half. So it's good. I like that I can do that. That I can, if necessary, and be like, all right, you guys don't like this. You don't like my dad jokes? Let's talk about you. What do you do for a living, sir? And then I mean, I'm not the first one to. I didn't reinvent the wheel with that, but I like being able to do that.
So when you slip into crowd work to get them loosened up, your material isn't working, you slip into crowd work. I assume from talking to you that you don't go into insult comedy, but you're more eliciting and trying to get them to bond together as a group, right?
Yeah, because if they're already not enjoying the material, I'm not going to double down and start calling them all a-holes, unless you heckle me, then all bets are off. Like I can be a jerk if I want to. If you start it, I'll finish it. But otherwise, no. I just was, you. And I know some comics don't do that. Some comics will double down and be like, "You guys don't understand what's funny," and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "No, let's figure out what Like, all right, I'm like sometimes I'll go, okay, so you guys are not into what I'm talking about. What do you guys want to talk about? What's going to get you going? And then that's that open. You kind of try to pick the people that you think are going to be receptive to talking, because some people don't. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. Somebody will heckle, you go, "What's that?" And then they quiet right down. So it's a fine line to walk, and it could get away from you very easily. But so far, I haven't had that. I haven't had to like, "Hey, you animals, get it together." Like I haven't had to do that.
I've been told my very first show they put me on way too early in my career. And they only put me on because I filled the place with military people. And so
Wow.
this whole crowd was there. And I was really slow in my delivery. And I was talking like I'm talking now, like which is normal for me. I know I need to speed up, but um this lady says, "When's the comedy gonna begin?"
Oh,
Oh God.
that's a classic. That's a
How would
classic
you
heckle.
have how would you have handled it?
Um, that depends. I might have said something like, "Well, judging by your face, probably when you looked in the mirror is when the comedy started." Um, But who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'd have to be in the moment, but I would probably try to do something to like throw it back on them if they're gonna. When are you gonna start being funny? I don't know. When are you gonna sober up? I don't, something like that.
Got it. That's great. So tell us, like this is kind of a short version of an interview. It's really for you to come on and let people know who you are and plug the show you're going to be on. And I'm sure you have other things as well. We'll get to that in a second. But in kind of wrapping up the short interview scenario here, what is it you would like to have people take away from this moment of getting to know you?
Like right now, um,
This is
just that
your
I'm.
chance for fame here.
I guess if you're watching this interview, what I would like you to take away from this is that I will do my best to give you the show that you paid for, and hopefully you'll think it's funny. I mean, you'll think it's funny. Like that's you're gonna have a good time. Um, and yeah, I just that I don't worry about I don't want to sit in the front row. They're gonna pick on me because unless you make yourself known, I'm not gonna bother you. So yeah, just come to the show, have a good time, and tell your friends.
Yeah, and Pasco's around a lot of other cities. So if people aren't in Pasco, there's cities close by where you can get there really easily. So I'll tag cities that are around Pasco to try to get people in the surrounding 20, 30 miles to come.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us where to follow you on social media or down the street, and tell us where to see you performing live or hopefully not dead. I hate it when people perform dead.
Yeah, that's never a lot of fun unless there's like ropes and pulleys set up. You do like a Pinocchio kind of a thing. So I'm on Twitter at it's Eric Cole, all one word. Same thing on TikTok. It's Eric Cole. I hate TikTok, but it's a necessary evil. And on Instagram at Eric Cole Comedy. Are those would be the three places to find me being silly.
Great. And tell us about where all you're going to be performing before and after the show that you have Thursday night, and remind us about the show Thursday night.
So Thursday night at the Grizzly Bar in the Red Lion Hotel, 7 o'clock, Pasco, Washington. The next night, March 10th, will be in Kennewick at Sage Brewing, also at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday night, we're in Baker City at I think it's hold on one second. Sorry.
That's in Oregon.
Yes, yeah.
Whole nother state.
It is indeed another state. We figured we were going to be out on the road, so we picked up another. I think it's going to be at a veterans place.
What?
I think.
That Baker City is where they have a like I'm not like a senior home for veterans.
Yeah. So okay. So we're at the March 11th at the Veterans Memorial Club in Baker City, Oregon. So that'll be fun to be able to hopefully make some of the troops laugh. So yeah, March 9th, Grizzly Bar. March 10th, Sage Brewing, Kennewick. March 11th, Baker City. And I think that's all the immediate stuff I have going on. My next thing I think isn't until April. So unless you want to get in touch with me and bring me to your city, give me a call because my calendar for March is pretty open.
I was in the Army, Eric. So would you do me a big favor and give every military veteran a big, wet, sloppy kiss for me?
That goes without saying. You didn't even have to ask me that. I was going to do that anyway. That's how I open. That's my opener. As I just walk through the crowd, giving everybody smooches, and then I get on stage. Hey, how's it going? Yeah,
Yeah, they're my jam, the military and vets. I love them so much. And they need to laugh. You know what? Everybody needs to laugh nowadays, thanks to the pandemic.
yeah, yeah. I'd say so.
Job security. Well, I
So
thank
far,
you so much for coming on here and opening up your entire life. And
yeah.
and people, look up who Jay Moore, Chris Kattan, and who was the Tom Green.
Tom Green.
Yeah,
Freddie
I
got
remember
fingered.
when Tom Green was married to Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I made sure not to ask about that when I met him. I wanted to, but I was like, no. I don't know if it was. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna thank him for for working together.
Isn't
Thank him for
Jay
the
Moore?
shows, and that's
I love Jay Moore, his sense of humor.
yeah. He was great. He was phenomenal. He did 4 nights, 3 nights, 3 nights, 5 shows, and it was a different set every time.
No way.
Yeah, it was fantastic. He was a lot of fun.
What
If
about
you get
Chris?
a chance to see any of them,
Tell us something we don't know about Chris Kattan. He was like a regular on Saturday Night Live. He seems so zany.
yeah, Chris Kattan. Well, I mean, from my experience with him, was he's not, he doesn't think, like, he's not full of himself. He's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live. He was just, uh, you know, one of the boys, and he was very cool, very easy to talk to, fun to work with. Um, yeah, I don't have enough nice things to say about my experience with him. It was a lot of fun. It was great. He's
Do you
a
ever do
he's a
comedy in
good guy.
Portland, Oregon?
Have I ever? I don't think I've ever done comedy in Portland, but I'd be open to it.
You got
Once
to go
again,
there. You got
if
to
you're
go there.
booking, give me a call.
Yeah,
Hmm?
Portland. You need to have him come there. Jeff Richards from Saturday Night Live lives in Portland and does comedy out there now. You'd love him too.
Uh,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah, yeah. I remember him from the. Yeah, he was good.
the
He was
drunk
very funny.
girls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh.
Well,
Well,
anyway,
that's good to
this
know.
has been a load of fun. And you guys, you got to go out to what's the name of the diner? Black Bear Diner?
The what the For the first show is at the Grizzly Bar.
Grizzly Bar. There we go.
Yes,
Grizzly Bar at the Red Lion, Pasco. You'll love
yes.
the crowd. You got regulars that keep coming back,
Well,
and
good. I'm looking forward to it.
they love jokes. They love jokes. They love to laugh,
I would hope so, considering it's a comedy show.
and they
I don't
stay
know any.
after
I
and
don't know any
talk to you.
Shakespeare.
It's a
What's
great
that?
crowd. It's a great
Okay.
crowd. They'll stay after and talk with you. They'll talk to you in the hallway. They like to talk, but they're
All right.
quiet when you're doing your jokes. They're quiet and respectful.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've been a doll to come on, and
Well,
thanks for
thank you for
putting up with
having me.
this. And now that you've graduated from comic spot like Sinbad, name dropper, now that you're on equal playing field with Sinbad, you can come back anytime and do a full-blown interview or plug anything else you're doing that you want people to hear about.
All right. Well, thank
Once
you
in a
very
while,
much.
people actually watch these.
Yeah, I'm looking
Thank
forward
you
to it.
so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. And break a leg in Pasco at the Grizzly
Grizzly Bar.
Bar, Grizzly Bar inside the Red Lion in Pasco. March 9th, 7 p.m.
Yes.
is when the show starts. So get there like at 3 in the afternoon.
Yep. Get there early and start drinking.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.